Hello, I'm Harvey, host of Franchising Brand Stories.
And I am Paul Thompson, founder of Water Babies.
And this is the show where we get under the hat of some of the top brands in the UK and in the world. What is Water Babies? Give us an idea of what that is as a business.
Sure, I'm sure you might guess a little bit in the title, a bit of a clue in the title, but we are a baby and toddler swimming franchise business. When we started Water Babies, our target market was 0 to 5 years old. Our youngest client was 1 day old. So we're a real specialist in newborn baby swimming, absolutely. But we're now going up to older age group children as well. But we're a baby and toddler swim school. And there are 3 bits to the Water Babies franchise model. There's swimming, which is the core of what we do. But we're also well known for underwater photography. That's a Nirvana shot that people may well have seen, baby swimming around underwater. So we're the largest producers in the world of those. And we also have a product division where we sell products related to our program to our client base. Those are the sort of 3 elements. But so we have just over 70 franchises, and we operate right across the UK, but also internationally as well. So we're in 6 countries around the world, Canada, the USA, Ireland, all over the UK, and in China and the Netherlands. So that's where we operate. As I say, we have a network of just over 70 franchises across all of those territories. But the core of the business is in the UK.
Where was the spark of this idea?
It's a long time ago now. I had hair back then. Well, Water Babies is 22 years old. It started back in 2002, so 23 years old, so our 23rd year actually, back in 2002. And it started in Ilkley in North Yorkshire. But the story began before that. I used to be a surveyor. I was a development director working in the property industry and living in Brighton at the time. I had a very high-powered job, being very busy, running the corporate ladder. And my daughter was born. And I was at a board meeting one night and my whole life changed over a split infinitive. I was talking to a load of old committee members about a project we were looking to do in Brighton. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening. None of them understood what I was talking about. I wasn't seeing my daughter. She was a few weeks old. And I just thought, why am I doing this? I don't want to do it anymore. Working all the hours God sends and not seeing my child. And I'm very maverick. I've always believe you get one go in life. I've never been sort of frightened to throw the cards up in the air. I'm not particularly driven by money. It's not the only thing that's important to me. And cut a long story short, I decided in the very short walk home that evening I was going to hand my notice in and give it all up. And that's what I did a few days later. Then moved to the Caribbean, became a scuba diving instructor, got wiped out by...
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was quite something. That's a whole other story. Got wiped out by a hurricane, moved back to the UK, had nowhere to live, moved in with my mum, became a stay-at-home dad with my wife, became a stay-at-home dad, and started taking my daughter to various children's activities. And one of them was baby swimming, which I'd never really heard of. In Brighton, there was a company which I'd heard of, but it wasn't on my life radar. I started taking her to baby swimming classes and just was blown away by what I saw. Just thought, this is amazing. I saw her really develop in terms of her confidence and physiological development, and I just loved it. And because of my teaching background in scuba diving, I was really fascinated. I was constantly in the ear of the instructor. Who eventually said to me one day, why don't you become a teacher? Just totally random. And I did. I became a teacher. And when I taught my first classes, it was a real life-changing life bolt moment. I was just born to do it. We call it the thing in Water Babies. I just had this natural empathy for babies and toddlers swimming, which was really bizarre. If you knew me back then, you would absolutely laugh at that fact. I was a typical big, black, hairy, rugby-playing dude. If you told me I was going to go and the rest of my life teaching swimming to mums and babies, I would have laughed.
What does a day in the life of a Water Babies franchisee look like?
Well, I think I've got one of my franchisees here. They'd go, it's completely mental. So the first thing to say is that they're big businesses. So our biggest business in Water Babies teaches just shy of 3,000 clients a week. An average Water Babies business teaches around 1,000 clients a week. So they're big businesses. They will be employing anything from, depending on the size of their business, 2 to 20 teachers, part-time teachers, and they'll have an office team of 3 or 4 people. So there's a lot of people going on. So that's the first thing. So you're managing all of that. It's a lot of clients. And you'll have a lot of classes going on any given day. So typical days, you'll have a number of classes going on. If you take a Saturday, which is our busiest day, you'll have umpteen classes going across your franchise territory, all of your teachers out there delivering those classes. And you'd be managing that process, making sure that that's going to be a smooth experience for both the employees and, of course, the clients and the receiving end of all of that. You're dealing with pools closing on you at the last minute. You know, something happens with the pool, it goes down, you've got to move all the clients around. You're finding new swimming pools as well. So you're going to look at those venues and get those on board. You're training new teachers. There's a plethora of things that you're doing running a Water Babies business. It's very, very multifaceted. You have a broad set of skills. You're marketing your business. You're doing the finance back at the ranch to make sure that your financial bits and pieces are all in place. You know, you're doing your bookkeeping and so forth. You're preparing for your next photo shoot, which is going to be in a few months' time. There's an awful lot of moving parts. So I'm doing that very quickly, but the life of a Water Babies franchisee is very, very, very busy, very multifaceted and forever changing. It's rarely consistent. And one of the things we look for in people who become Water Babies franchisees is the reality of that. It's really, really hard work. It's really hard work. When you've got a successful Water Babies business and you've got a team and it's all running, then, and I believe that a good business is being run by a team, not by the founder, it's being run by that team, then you can enjoy a really good quality of life. Water Babies franchisees, we operate on the basically like school terms, so they can have summer, Easter and Christmas off and have that time with their families. Half term is a break for us as well in most franchises. So when you're running a really good business, you're working 40 weeks of the year, 42 weeks of the year, 44 weeks of the year, and you've got the rest of the time off to be with your family. But the business is still running behind you. So you've got your team helping you to do that. But you've got to work really, really hard to get to that point. They're very large entities. They're very large businesses.